Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Calvin Tobin Show. I am your host, Calvin Tobin. Today we have a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. All right, this 2022-2023 NHL season has had so much history, we can't even put into words for how insane and ridiculous it has been for what has transpired throughout the season. And what has transpired is that we have seen a numerous amount of players create new career highs for goals, points, and assists for themselves. We have also seen teams win at a rate that we haven't seen them do before or in a long time. And we have also seen a bunch of different players go on crazy point streaks, with some of the longest point streaks going as long as 20 plus games. Now, with the players creating new career highs for themselves, there have been so many players that have done it. We have lost track for how many players that have done it. But the biggest one out of them all, and easily the most noticeable, is Connor McDavid himself. And he has the most points this year, as he just reached as he just notched 150 points on the season, and now has accounted for 151 points, with accounting 64 goals and 87 assists. He played the San Jose Sharks last night and nearly had a hat trick, but got a 3-point performance out of it, helping the Oilers beat the San Jose Sharks 6-1. And with Connor McDavid's 3-point performance, he ended up extending his point streak to 14 games and accounted for 27 points. With Connor McDavid's point streak, this is his 5th different point streak that he has had this year. The other ones he's had is a 10, 11, a 16, and a 17 game point streak, which ended up being his longest. And Connor McDavid has only been held pointless in 7 of the 80 games that he has played this year, which is 5th in NHL history. And there has only been 4 players who have been held scoreless in just fewer games, with Wayne Gretzky being number 1, only being held pointless with 3. And with what Connor McDavid has done this year, it's unheard of in today's game. But when you're Connor McDavid, you can perform at unrealistic levels. With the players that have created new career highs for themselves, here are a couple of players of what they got. Matthew Tkachuk has just accounted for 108 points, and that's a new career high for himself. Then we had David Pastrnak set a new career high, and he's at 105 points right now and has 3 games left to go to play for Boston, and has the chance to get 60 goals on the season. But we'll see if he plays out the rest of the season, or if the Boston Bruins are going to rest their starters right before the playoffs. With the Colorado Avalanche, their guy Mikko Rantanen ended up getting his first 50-goal season of his career this year. But here's the thing. In the NHL, the winning has been unbelievable and so insane to see. We're actually watching video game stuff, and it feels like we're living in a video game, because for starters, the Boston Bruins are now 1 victory away from breaking the record for most wins in a regular season in NHL history. Their record right now is 62-12-5, accounting for 129 points on the season. These guys cannot lose, and it's based on who they have to play for the rest of the season. There's a good chance that they actually could push it to 65 wins, because the teams that they have to play are all on the lower end of the entire league. As for the rest of the league, there are 2 other teams that we have seen win at a level that we did not see coming, and that was the New Jersey Devils and the Seattle Kraken. Let's start with the New Jersey Devils first. Last year, they only had 27 wins. So going into this year, even though they had a great offseason, we were expecting them to improve their season maybe by 3 to 5 wins. Nope, double the wins, because they went from 27 to 50 wins, and unfortunately just losing to the Boston Bruins 2-1 in a complete shootout. Then we had the Seattle Kraken, who was inducted into the league last year and are now in year 2. And this was a huge glow up for them because they went from freshman to senior in a matter of 1 year because they had 27 wins in their first year. And now they are at 45 wins this year, and they could potentially still extend it to 48 wins. But if I were to pick a team, one of these teams who has had the most impressive season, it is going to be the Boston Bruins, but that's only because it's on a historic level. But if it had to be between Seattle and New Jersey, we could easily say New Jersey because they doubled their wins, 27-50. Like, how do you go from worst to first in hockey? Like, that is so hard to do. But that's just how sports work. A bunch of Cinderella stories year in and year out. Now, with the New Jersey Devils, the main reason of their success is because of Jack Hughes, because he brought his skill level to another level. And what he did is go from last year to this year, improving his point differential by 40 points. He only had 56 points in all of last year, and now has 96 points on this year, and he has the chance to become one of the next players to notch 100 points on the season. As for the MLB, the 2023 season, first week is up at the end of the day today, and everyone is rocking and rolling for what has transpired. And what has transpired is we have already seen a couple huge milestones achieved by 2 different players, and those milestones are home run milestones. And these players go by the names of Nolan Arenado and Pete Alonso. First off, with Pete Alonso, he ended up getting his 150th career home run, and other than yesterday's game, prior to that, he had a 3 straight game home run streak, and accounting for four home runs. And I wonder if Pete Alonso is going to go to another home run derby this year, because he's still very, very early on in his career, and he's so close to already having the record in the home run derby. I really want to see him get it because I think he's got a shot at doing it this year. Now, with Nolan Arenado, his home run milestone is he finally just hit his first home run a couple days ago, and he ended up hitting his 300th career home run, and is now the 8th active player in today's game that has 300 home runs or more. As for the rest of the MLB, there are 4 different teams that have 6 or more wins, with the Tampa Bay Rays leading the entire league with 8 wins, and they are still undefeated. And the Rays' 8th victory came last night, and they ended up smoking the Oakland A's 11-0. And with the Tampa Bay Rays 8-0 start to the season, they're actually on a historic pace right now, because the last time that a team was this good to the start of the season in the MLB was the 2003 Kansas City Royals, where they won their first 9 games before getting their first loss of the season. Now, yesterday in the MLB, the MLB had everyone playing, and the winner was scoring an average of 7.6 runs, while the average game was scoring 11 runs per game. And the highest performing game ended up being the LA Dodgers versus the Arizona Diamondbacks, and that game accounted for 20 runs, with the Arizona Diamondbacks coming out on top, beating the Dodgers 12-8. In this game, the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks accounted for 28 total hits, and there was one guy that actually ended up going perfect out of all of this, and because there was 28 hits, almost everybody got on base except for 4 guys. 4 guys out of 18 different guys that could have got on base ended up not getting on base. Like, how impressive is this new pitch clock making these teams? Because now we got some these bad teams from last year already at the top of their division, but it's still the very beginning of the year, so you can't really say anything yet. Now, with this game, the Dodgers and Diamondbacks were going run after run, inning after inning, and it wasn't until about the 6th or 7th inning where the Diamondbacks started to pull away from the Dodgers, and at one point had a 6-run lead. And what's crazy about this is, who would have thought that the Arizona Diamondbacks would start their first 9 games having a winning record of 5-4 and be leading the NL West? And what's even crazier about it is that they've already played the LA Dodgers in 2 different series this year, and they're already leading the series 4-3 so far. So who is really going to be in the who is really going to be good, and what are we going to see by May, July, August, something like that? Because this new pitch clock has got teams looking a whole lot different than what we seen last year, and it's about to revolutionize the game in a huge way. All right, that's the end of the Calvin Tobin Show. Please subscribe to my channel at Calvin Tobin Show so you don't miss out on any sports media, and please follow me on Instagram at Calvin Tobin Show so you don't miss out on any sports news whatsoever, and I'm out.